Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another review, another paid request, this time for Jonathan Lindsey. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, or commentaries, or reviews, or reactions, or what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the Batman the Animated Series episode of Read My Lips, which deals with the villain, the ventriloquist. Now, I never read any of the comics that featured this character. In fact, recently I saw a reference of it in this video game I was playing, Batman Arkham Asylum. And I remember playing the game and went, ventriloquist? Okay. And lo and behold, it's featured in this episode, so now I know a bit more about it. The gist of the episode is that there's a bunch of robberies happening, and their leader is this guy who has a split personality, multiple personality I should say, where on one end he's this meek guy with glasses, very scared of his own shadow, and the other is this wooden doll named Starface with like a little Tommy gun who is the boss. And the guy will be talking to the doll, and remember the Anthony Hopkins film Magic, and there's been other stuff too where it's not that the doll's possessed, it's just the person's psyche is broken. And Batman, because he does a little bit of detective work, notices a tattoo on a guy named Rhino. Not Rhino from Spider-Man, different Rhino. Leads him to an area, he gets caught, but then there was a reference to another episode where he did learn tricks from a magician. And so he knows a little bit of ventriloquism himself, and he uses that to turn the guy against himself. So him and the dummy are fighting with each other while Batman gets to shit out these other henchmen, these other guys. So it's nice that he uses Batman's wit, Batman's smarts. He uses his wit to get out of this situation. And it's a very unique type of villain. I mean, a ventriloquist doll, split personality thing. It definitely gives a bit more of a unique take on it. And a lot of the episodes of Batman have been pretty cool because, I've said this before, I'll say it again, it's a very well animated show. It has that flavor of the Superman Fleischer cartoons from the 40s with maybe not exactly the style, but some of the background, some of the, just have a little bit of that feel. It's not done in the style of the rotoscoping stuff, but it just, I don't know, it has that little bit of flavor to it, which I enjoy. I think that's a positive. Plus the musical score and the sense of lighting and shadow, Kevin Conroy as Batman. There's not a whole lot of episodes that I hated so far, except maybe there's a few. The Batman in My Basement is still the worst one. The Poison Ivy ones I never really cared for. I wouldn't say this is one of the best ones. I mean, it's an interesting villain. It doesn't have as strong of a personality as a Two-Face or the Man-Bat voiced by Mark Singer, or of course Joker. But at least it's a different take on things. I did find it weird at the end. Like, he's in Arkham Asylum, the bad guy, and for some reason they give him a knife. Do you give knives to people in Arkham Asylum? Because he has a knife because he's carving up another. They think his multiple personality's gone, but no, he's creating another dummy, and he's using a knife. I'm like, well, why the fuck are they giving inmates knives? That's just room for trouble. I didn't understand that. I mean, if anyone works in a prison, do you give the prisoners knives? Shop class or anything? Do you ever give them a knife? They say, well, they have a knife. It's called a shiv, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't know how to explain a shiv in a cartoon, so yeah, he just happens to have a knife for some reason. But yeah, it went at a good pace. I didn't really find a lot of big issues with it. Again, it makes an interesting motif of Like, there's a bit where the guy sees Batman, and okay, you think Batman's gonna be in trouble, but then he doesn't tell the dummy because they really do feel they're two different people, even though they're the same person. Like, I'm so scared to tell Scarface that he may hurt me and da da da. I can't tell that you were here. And Batman uses that later on to call the guy a squealer, and then turn one on the other. Very psychological, you know, you're in the same body, but these two forces battling each other. Definitely an interesting take on the story. I also found it weird that one of the characters, one of the henchmen, I believe, said "yippee-ki-yay." What, motherfuckers? I don't know, I just thought it was really random that the guy said "yippee-ki-yay." Because I either partial Roy Rogers or Die Hard. So yeah, just weird hearing "yippee-ki-yay," especially without "motherfucker" afterward. The fight scenes were decent. I mean, not. There's been better fight scenes, better action scenes that were definitely more adrenaline pumping, but this was more than serviceable. He takes out the bad guys, makes the one guy fight himself, or ventriloquist dummy, and the dummy gets shot up, and then the guy is heartbroken and in jail, and then again, they give him a knife for some reason, because again, I guess Arkham Asylum gives people knives. Well, I mean, yeah, people have a knife in the game, but that's because it's all hell and high water, and they grab the shit. I don't know if this character makes any more appearances on the show, but again, it was interesting for what it was. It was interesting to see one of the lesser villains come into play. And lesser as in not as well known. Like, I doubt you'll ever see the ventriloquist in a movie. Although, that'd be an interesting Batman film to just like take all the villains no one has ever done. Clayface, Man-Bat, Calendar Man, ventriloquist, and put them in a movie. That'd be a very... You know what? That would be an interesting movie. I don't know if it'd be good, but it would be an interesting film. Maybe showing Batman like one long day that becomes like the biggest, longest night of his life, and he's dealing with all these different villains. That would be something for like an Ultimate Batman movie, to do that, and like he cures Poison Ivy, so she's just a normal girl. Two-Face, something happens with him, so he can't do much anymore. Joker at the end gets himself killed. Because he wants Batman to do it, but Batman doesn't do it, just Joker stupidly gets himself killed because of his own ego after a bunch of events. Selma put in jail, maybe forever this time. Others, it would be interesting. But, well, anyway, with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.